नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, I am Sri Sunil Lotan Sonone. He is presenting 2.3 the Inchcape Rock part number 2. You are welcome in our web portal Tilaknagar Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Tilaknagar Junior College, Dombeli East. Now listen to the poem carefully.
Inchcape Rock by Robert Southey. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Ship was still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Keel was steady in the ocean. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell. The abbot of Aberbrothock had placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. The rock was hid by the surge's swell. The mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock, and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. The sun in the heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joyance in their sound. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rover walked his deck, and fixed his eye on the darker speck. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Quoth he, "My men, put out the boat, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and I'll plague the abbot of Aberbrothock." The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sank the bell with a gurgling sound. The bubbles rose and burst around. Quoth Sir Ralph, "The next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock." Sir Ralph the rover sailed away. He scoured the seas for many a day. Now grown rich with plundered store, he steers his course for Scotland's shore. So thick a haze o'erspreads the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. The wind hath blown a gale all day, at evening it had died away. On the deck the rover takes his stand. So dark it is, they see no land. Quoth Sir Ralph, "It will be lighter soon, for there is the dawn of the rising moon." "Canst hear," said one, "the breakers roar? For methinks we should be near the shore. Now, where we are I cannot tell, but I wish we could hear the Inchcape bell." Hear no sound. The swell is strong. Though the wind hath fallen, they drift along, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. "Oh Christ, it's the Inchcape Rock!" Sir Ralph the rover tore his hair. He cursed himself in his despair. The waves rush in on every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rover hear, a sound as if, with the Inchcape bell, the devil below was ringing his knell.
So student, we have listened poem. In the first stanza, no stir in the air, no stir in the sea, the ship was as still as she could be, her sails from heaven received no motion, her keel was steady in the ocean. Meaning that there was no movement in the air and the sea, therefore the ship was also motionless. Her sails were erect and there was no motion in them. Her, her keel was in also in balance. A keel is a piece of wood or metal that gives support to the whole structure of the ship or the boat. म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी हवा शांत होती आणि समुद्रसुद्धा शांत होता आणि ती जहाजसुद्धा जशी असावी तशीच ती शांत होती, स्थिर होती आणि सगळं काही अतिशय व्यवस्थित सुरू होतं. तर सेकंड स्टांजा बघूया आपण आता. नेक्स्ट, इन द सेकंड स्टांजा without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape rock. So little they rose, so little they fell, they did not move the Inchcape bell. Meaning that the waves of the ocean flowed over the Inchcape rock smoothly without creating sound of the warning bell. It was only because the movement of the waves was so slow that it could not make the bell ring. The waves were not rising up high, so they were not able to hide the Inchcape rock. Hide the dangerous Inchcape rock. तर त्यांच्या धक्का देण्याचे कोणतेही चिन्ह किंवा आवाजाशिवाय इंचकेप रॉकवर त्या लाटा वाहून गेल्या. जशा हळूवार त्या उसळल्या तशा हळूवार त्या कोसळल्या. त्यांनी इंचकेप बेल हलवली नाही. तर या ठिकाणी ॲबॉट म्हणजे काय? हेड ऑफ द ॲबी ऑफ मॉन्क ॲबी, अ बिल्डिंग वेअर मॉन्क्स ऑर नन्स लिव्ह ऑर यूज टू लिव्ह. तर जसं आपल्या हिंदू धर्मामध्ये मठ असतो, त्या मठामध्ये जसे साधू संत राहत असतात, तसं त्या ठिकाणी या ठिकाणी ॲबॉट म्हणजे मठाधिपती राहत होते. नेक्स्ट, स्टांजा नंबर 3. द ॲबॉट ऑफ ॲबॉर्थॉक had placed that bell on the Inchcape rock on a buoy in the storm. It floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. In the third stanza, a buoy, it is an object that floats on the sea. म्हणजे समुद्रावर तरंगणारा एखादा घटक. A river, sea or river, to mark the places where it is dangerous and where it is safe for boats to go. म्हणजे जहाज जाण्यासाठी सुरक्षित किंवा त्या ठिकाणी धोका आहे अशी सांगणारी ती खूण त्याला बियोय असं म्हणतात. तर ॲबॉट तुम्हाला आता सांगितलं की इट इज द हेड ऑफ मोनॅस्ट्री. Surge means sudden flow of water coming, swell rising up. The abbot of Aberthock knew the danger of the submerged rock and acted to save the lives of the sailors. He set up a bell there on the Inchcape rock. It floated on a buoy in the storm and moved and produced the ringing sound that warned the coming sailors on the time of the hidden danger passed by the Inchcape rock that was submerged, म्हणजे अंडरवॉटर. तर या ठिकाणी ॲबॉर्थॉकचा जो मठाधीश असतो ती इंचकेप बेल ती बेल त्याने त्या रॉकवर ठेवलेली होती आणि म्हणून तिला इंचकेप बेल असं म्हटलं जात होतं. वादळात तरंगत ठेवणारा त्या खांब्यावर ती बेल झुलत होती आणि तरंगत होती आणि लाटांचा इशाऱ्याने ती बेल वाजत होती. Next stanza. When the rock was hit by the surge's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock and blazed the abbot of Aberthaw. Whenever the mariners passed by the strong uh, passed by the place, when the rock was full of water by strong waves during high tide, the bell would ring and warn the sailors against the rock. The rock is termed as perilous, meaning dangerous, by Saudi. Then they used to thank the abbot of Aberthaw for his idea placing the bell to prevent shipwreckers. जेव्हा खडक त्या उसळत्या लाटेत लपलेला होता, नाविकांनी चेतावणीची घंटा ऐकली आणि मग त्यांना धोकादायक खडक माहिती झाला आणि त्या ॲबर्थॉकचा जो मठाधीश होता त्याला त्यांनी धन्यवाद दिले. The sun in the heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there was joy in their sound. तर in the fifth stanza, the poet described that the day was very joyful. The sun in the sky was shining brightly. The sun was gay, means happy, and also making all the creatures on the earth happy with his pleasant sun rays. It is a kind of personification as the sun has been described in human terms. Heaven is the symbol of the sky. All things means all the creatures on the earth. The seabirds were also joyous and screaming to express their happiness while flying in the sky, making some circles. तर त्या ठिकाणी स्वर्गातील सूर्य आनंदाने चमकत होता. त्या दिवशी सर्व काही आनंद होता. समुद्रात पक्षी घिरट्या घालत होते आणि आवाज करत होते. त्यांच्या आवाजात आनंद दिसत होता. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck of the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. In this stanza number 6, the buoy is the object that floats on the surface of the sea to mark the safe and dangerous places. As we know that the Inchcape bell was tied to the buoy, so it was visible to Sir Ralph when he stood on the deck. The deck is the upper part of the boat or a ship of his ship. Then he fixed his eye on the dark spot. Actually, the Inchcape bell seemed to like that of dark spot in the green water of the ocean. इंचकेप बेलला तरंगणारा तो जो बिय होता तो खांब त्याला दिसला आणि त्या हिरवागार समुद्राच्या त्या पाण्यामध्ये एक गडद ठिपका त्याला दिसला. सर राल्फ द रोव्हर त्याच्या डेकवर गेला आणि त्याने त्या काळ्या ठिपक्यावर लक्ष केंद्रित केले, आपला डोळा ठेवला.